Hey everybody,
Hello,
I'm Kelly,
I'm Corey.
and thank you for pressing play and watching us. um, there's so many voices in the world today that we can listen to, and I'm just grateful for those of you who choose to spend your time, listening to us, and hopefully there's things that we say that help in your own life. I've been recognizing over the past couple days how the world is so loud. There are just so many voices in the world, and I personally, I love to learn, I love to read, and I love to listen to podcasts, and I love seeking knowledge and truth, and so I listen to a lot of people. Like throughout the week, I'm constantly inputting. Like I feel like I'm always, learning things, and I recognize over the past couple days that there have been a lot of voices in my head. Like there's just been so much that I've learned, and I will occasionally get to a point where it's like it's so much, and I'm like, I almost feel like it gets overwhelmed to a point, and it's like I start feeling within my mind, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to, like, everything we bring into our minds is like it I don't know the word, it creates like how we show up in this world. It's like the things that we're learning, that is what we are becoming. That is what we're bringing into our lives, especially if we practice the things that we're learning. And so it's like it steers our lives, and it takes us different places. And so that's why it's so important for us to have discernment, to know what it is we're listening to, and to be able to filter through and bring in truth into our lives. But like I said, over the past couple of days, I've just been like, I feel like my mind has just been a lot. There's been a lot there. And so last night I was just like, I need to just not be on social media. I need to not be bringing more into my mind than is already there. And also I gotta get back, I need to hear God, and so I pulled up my scriptures, because that is like, whenever I feel off center, that is the first place. Like, I need to hear God in my life. I need to hear his voice and what he wants from me, and not like all the opinions and all of the everything in the world and what people are saying, because there's just so much great stuff out there that can help us to just be better people, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There's just so much that can benefit our lives, and at times when we're bringing in so much information, it just gets to a point where it's just too much. It's like, okay, now what do I do? What path? How do I incorporate these things into my life? And it can get too loud and too busy, and I'm so grateful that for myself, I know how to bring myself back to that center, and back into like truly what is most important, and that is the Spirit. Like, what is the Spirit telling me? Because there's people that have a lot of great knowledge and wisdom and experience, and I can learn a lot from all those people, but there's only one me, and God can speak to me, for my life. I don't have to have all these hundreds of voices telling me what to do. I have God who tells me what to do through the Spirit, and I just have to turn off all the noise of the world and just listen to him. And he brought me to Christ's words in the Bible, in Matthew, just going to Jesus Christ and to his words. It really takes everything else away, because truly his words are just calm and peaceful, and it helps me to just know what path I'm truly following, and I'm truly on. It really melts away a lot of the other stuff that's unnecessary.
Yeah, and that stuff that's unnecessary, there is just so much good stuff. and it's so enlightening.
I love it.
Yeah, it makes your brain just grow, progress, and there's so much to learn, and just so much truth in so many different directions. But there is that point that I can feel where it's like there's just too much input. It's where do I go? And there is one place that you can always go back to, and the scriptures and prayer. Going directly to God. We don't have to rely on man for our knowledge. The Spirit can teach us all that we need to know. And that is, but still, it's fun to learn so much. And there is, like we've said so many times, there is so much truth in so many different places that it's just, you can get lost just watching people talk about things that are spiritual, that you just like agree with them, like, yeah, that is truth. That is, and it's like I have no problem with so much stuff that people run from. People are like, oh, that's the devil, stay away from it. It's like, no, it's not. That's good stuff. And it's can be found in so many places. But it is easy to get distracted from what is most important, and take your eye off of the mark, to miss the mark, as one of the guys that I listen to says a lot. But there is a place where there just gets too much noise. And you really do have to just cut it all out. Just shut it down. And I feel like I've been there lately. Just a lot of noise, a lot of opinions of other people. And I'm taking that stuff in instead of really praying and taking in what really matters. What my Heavenly Father feels about me. Where am I at with my Savior? Instead of where am I at with anybody else. It doesn't matter. But yeah, there is so much just wonderful stuff to listen to, and I can definitely get lost in it for hours and hours. And forget to go back to the source.
My mind too, it gets real busy. Like I'll latch on to certain things, and my mind will just go with it. And I recognized a couple weeks ago I latched on to something, and it goes into addiction. Whenever we're addicted to things, it's like I'll be doing really great, and I'll have a thought come into my mind about, using something or doing something. And many times I'm able to be like, no, I don't want to do that because of where I am in my life today and like how my body feels. And I like making good choices that lifts me. But every once in a while, my mind will latch on to something, and then it'll start to ruminate and I'll start thinking about it. And my mind gets really busy, and again, it's that same exact thing where my mind is full of this noise within me that wants to do this habit that I have done in the past, and it will just keep it, and I entertain it, and I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, well, that would be fun, and maybe I could do, and it stays as this voice in my head, and I don't try to push it away. And so that's another thing that I have struggled with a little bit over the last couple weeks is fighting this voice that just won't go away. And I chose to listen to that voice And, and it's like I made a choice that was not the highest for me. And then, that whole addiction cycle, that whole cycle comes in again. And, that I fell back into like this old pattern. But man, I love the fact that today I just know more. Like I understand more and I get it. And I understand and I recognize how the voices and how the patterns, how they pull us back so fast. And we don't have to stay in it. Like I'm able to trip and fall and be like, whoa, wait, hold up, and get back up and be like, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't want that in my life. Like that is not a choice that I did not enjoy that. I do not want that. Like, what was I even thinking? And the thing is that was the problem. What was I thinking? Like my mind, I had allowed my mind to begin to think upon things that was not best for me, and it just took over. And it's all those voices, it's the voices in the world that can take over our minds and that can steer us in directions that are not best for us. And we don't even know it. We don't even know it until we're like at this critical point of like, what just happened? Like, holy crap, like when did that even start? But now here I am with all the voices in my head and it's too overwhelming. And it's like, oh, now I don't even know what to do. I don't even know. And I'm stuck in this place. And thankfully, I do have the Spirit in my life today where it's like he just gently encourages me to just keep going. Like, look how far I have come. And I don't have to live in shame. I don't have to live in guilt. I don't have to live in condemnation and in judgment. I don't have to beat myself up constantly, because all that does is leads to depression and anxiety and fear and just all of that other heavy, dark stuff. Instead, I can rely on Jesus Christ, and I can move more into his grace and his mercy and his compassion and his love, and just recognize that this life is a testing ground and that there are so many voices, and that's just the way that it has been designed. And it's important for us to, that is why it is important for us to meditate and to have prayer and to have scripture time, because it's during those times that we are able to quiet all of the voices, and to just come into like one with the Spirit and with God, so that they can help us get rid of all of those extra voices that are there.
Yeah, it's something that I keep hearing is you always hear that the relapse happens way before you actually relapse.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's all those that thinking and that obsessing and that noise and just forgetting to go back to where we know to go, to do the things we know to do. And it's so easy to forget. And that's why it is a daily reprieve. It's just for today. What can I do today to make it through the day? And that's all we need is the strength to make it through this day. So those noises, yeah, if I don't do the things that I have to do, those noises just get too loud. And I mean, that something that you said that is different in life today is I don't carry that shame and guilt with me today. Like I can pick myself back up and keep moving forward. And I don't have to get stuck for years on end in that place that I have been in the past. So yeah. Yeah, that's a great topic. That's it is. And not only like listening to positive, uplifting stuff, but getting lost in, we've talked about it, getting lost in Netflix and episodes and videos or shows and binging on stuff like that. I mean, it's like so easy to just forget about the things that have gotten us to where we are today. Mm-hmm. And to just let our guard down. And I mean, I know that I don't want to go back to the places I've been. That's for sure.
I know, and I catch myself, like, I feel like lately, you know, we've been in times where we're both like so blissful. It's like, oh, life is so blissful and it's so good and it just feels so good, and every day is like sunshine and roses, and it just like that joy and just love, and you're smiling at everybody, and it's just like you just want to, we're just flowing love into this world. And then it's like, man, life happens and those voices take over, and it gets a little heavy, and it's gloomy, and it feels hard, and it's like, man, where did the bliss go? Like, what happened to that? You know? But at the same time, I am coming to understand that it's there. Like, inside of me, like, I know those mountaintops, and I know that it's within me, and that I can create that for myself every single day. You know, it is a daily thing. You know, and I may wake up some mornings and I feel a little off, like I just feel a little grumpy or whatever, but I can still have gratitude in my life. I can still be so grateful that I have a new day to create and to make choices, and I could just look for all of the good things and know that the choices that I'm making daily, that they're leading me to that bliss, to that state of blissfulness that I know I'm going to have again, you know, and I know that we are going to come to a place in life where that is life. That life is going to be bliss. You know, it might not be until Jesus comes again, but too, it could be that we do get to a place where we live in that state always. But we, as a mortal person with a lot of patterns of guilt and of shame and of judgment and these heavy patterns that still are in my body that I am learning to overcome. You know, it's just, these things do bring me back down occasionally. And I'm so grateful, though, to understand and to know what is going on, and that I can just allow things, I can allow myself to feel how I feel, and recognize that, you know, I don't get depressed like I used to, but I do get heaviness of spirit. I do get these heavy feelings, and I just know that it's stuff within me that is working its way out of me to allow more room for love, to allow more room for me to love myself, to forgive myself. Like last night, I was soaking in my bath where I do a lot of my meditation and my crying, and I don't even know, like, stuff was coming up, just this recognition of how I have been taught, and I have learned this accusatory, like always feeling like judgment and like guilt and shame, and like for not doing certain things or whatever. And I just realized that I learned from my root to view the world in a way of like just this performance based, what I do is how I receive love. You know, I'm loved whenever I'm doing all these things perfectly. And that's so incorrect. Whereas today I'm having to learn to receive grace and to receive mercy and to receive love exactly how I am, and to not condemn myself. And I just recognize that I still have all these patterns within me that's still there, that I'm still kind of viewing my life through this lens of the judgment and the guilt and the shame. But it's so much less. Like, since we started doing this and we've been able to talk so much, you know, and I recognize these patterns within me, they are leaving, but I still have it in me, because, I mean, it doesn't leave overnight. And so last night I was crying stuff out, just recognizing it. And I'm like, more is leaving me.
And that's what I was thinking. I mean, we haven't even been doing this for a year, you know, and I was in really serious addiction for so long that, I mean, it's going to take years of recovery to really work these things out of me.
Because we're not recovered.
Yeah, if
we're
it's
in recovery.
5 years, 10 years, whatever it takes.
Right.
It's a process. So yeah, it is. It's crying more out so that you can fill yourself more with good, positive stuff. It is. It's a process. And it's that's all I need is that daily reprieve. Just give me the strength to make it through the day. And, you know, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do to be on the right path. And just a matter of doing it each day and consistently. So, yeah, it's a good topic. Definitely a lot to think about there.
And, you know, I do find myself a lot of times in my mind a lot, because I'm a major analyzer. And so I think a lot. I'm just constantly, my mind is just constantly going. And there are times when I'm like, I just need to turn it off. Like, I just, it needs to stop. And those are times whenever I am grateful for Netflix. I mean, I truly, like, I have gratitude that there are things that I can just kind of turn it off.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, meditation, yes, meditation is great to turn it off, but there's still something, I'm still doing something. You know, I'm working to turn it off, and I'm still receiving, and so I feel like there's still something, I'm active in a way, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And so there are times when I'm just like, I need to just turn my brain off. And going to nature is a big one, like going to the camp and just walking around and just being in nature and seeing all of the little animals and seeing the little plants and just feeling one with that kind of thing. And but you know, Netflix is not like evil. You know,
No,
it's
it has
not a horrible
purpose.
thing. You know, but it's just whenever we're clicking over and over and over that it can become a problem. But there are times that I do just need to turn it off because it's just so noisy.
Yeah, definitely a time for rest.
Yeah.
It's sometimes really hard to shut the brain down.
Yeah, it is, especially whenever I'm constantly bringing stuff in, because
Yeah.
there's so much to learn.
Trying
and
to
there's just
think
so
and
much...
figure out what you just brought in. Yeah.
And how to bring it into my life and how to
Apply it. Yeah.
How I can become, you know, these things.
Yeah. Life is good. I love it. It's all about learning and progressing, and that is the number one thing that I get from it is just be kind to myself, and just, you know, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress.
Yeah.
And as long as we're progressing and moving forward, well, then we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And today I am making progress.
Me too.
Yeah. Life is good. Life is bliss.
It is. It really
Even
is.
on those days when you don't feel it as strongly.
Yep.
It is.
It really is.
Love y'all.
Thank y'all for listening. If you're here listening to us.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.